Big inhale, breath of spirit, everyone. Big breath of trust, of faith, of love. Knowing that that one love of all our hearts is with us now, always has been, always will. Let us just open our minds and open our hearts to receive fully the inflow of that love, that outstanding love that is pouring in to our hearts right now. And I'd like to read you a few NDE quotes of those souls who got a little separation from the physical. And they went into the astral body, in their astral world. And this is what they beheld. Just for starters today, just for starters. I have so many pages marked of quotes. The most intensely bright white light filled my soul with the most awesome power and love in the universe. So as you all sit here right now, just start to feel, relax and feel the truth as it starts to bubble up from within you. It's not outside. It's bubbling up from within you. The most intensely bright white light filled my soul with the most awesome power and love in the universe. In the light, I heard the thunderous fluttering winds and the most beautiful sounds of angel voices singing louder than the thunderous winds. The love was overwhelming to me. I was terrified that I might not be able to feel my body anymore. The desire to be in control, desire itself, movement, thought, everything that I used to identify with was dying in this light. When it swallowed me whole, an explosion of ecstasy and love started from my navel and steadily grew out into the light itself. So just visualize your third chakra right now and feel as it's reaching out. The light in you is reaching out to the light that's so-called outside of you. As the ecstasy and love starts from your navel and steadily grew out into this light itself. Like a mother carrying a child in her arms, the light ascended at a rapid pace, all while holding me near. Embraced by the light, my dears, embraced by the light. I was now completely out of my old body, so I peered back down, only to see my previous body. It was made of white light, but still had a luminous human form. So are you ready to continue on the most awesome journey of your foreverness? Using our intuitive imagination, of course, and our utmost fearless faith and total trust. If we want any chance at all, if we want any kind of reprieve at all from the fear that we're in on a regular basis, the worry, you know, not the ability to get out from that fear and worry as easy as we might want it, to be that way. But let's for once be so entrained with that light right now and that love that's beaming into us from an omnipresent way, in an omnipresent way. And let's just be swallowed whole, okay? Let's be swallowed whole, and then completely let yourself relax and let the life in the rapid ascent lift you higher and higher. And every little height that you gain is going to be just a deep affirmation of your whole being, saying, this is home, this is home, this is me, this is me. All right? It'll be just this ever-growing affirmation, this is me, this is me. And neti neti, that ain't me, that ain't me. But this is me, right? Not this, not that, neti neti, but this is me. I am that. So are you ready, fearless warriors, fearless adventurers? Let's just start right in on verse 8, this chapter 8. Small commentary, but powerful in its ramifications. This is what Krishna says. He attains the supreme effulgent Lord, O Arjuna, whose mind, stabilized by yoga, is immovably fixed on the thought of him. He attains the supreme effulgent Lord, O Arjuna, whose mind, stabilized by yoga. That yearning, what is yoga? It's the yearning. It's the deepest sincerity we have going on. It's just this grace of God that is helping us to have this yearning. And it's just, it's urgent, as we always mention, to keep our whole self riveted on this great light, this great luminous. I want you to feel like there's this luminous form right in front of you now, like the Ishta, that personal element, that personal deity, that personal way you want to look and feel the divine beloved right now. It's just luminous, and everything about it is just giving you again that recommitment and that deeper conviction that this is me, that's me. This is a reflection of me. I am a reflection of that perfect light. We are one and the same. And that light is so totally not me as the little human. It is divine completely through and through. So we're going to stabilize our mind in intuitive imagination that we have this loving presence, the divine loving presence with us all the time. Crucial. Step number 1 for us, right? Root chakra. I am that. I am that. I am you, beloved. You are all. I am you, beloved. You are all. So we're stabilized by yoga and immovably fixed on the thought of this beautiful divine beloved. That's right with us now. That's always with us. So Yogananda's commentary on this verse 8, chapter 8, Krishna tells Arjuna to prepare himself spiritually throughout life. And as you know, what this means when we say this is for life, we're in spiritual training camp and all that, we're talking really a day only, okay? Life's too long. Today. So reworded, Krishna tells us to prepare ourselves spiritually throughout this day, that at death, and we will paraphrase that and say, at the end of this day, in the manner of a great yogi, we will carry our divine consciousness, this divine yearning, aspiration for yoga union, right? for feeling the presence all day and having a relationship in that presence to take our breath away, right? It will just lift us off the floor. It will carry us today. And that's all we know in this divine romantic love affair with love itself. So we'll prepare ourselves throughout this day. And at the end of the day, in the manner of a great yogi and yogini, we're going to carry this divine consciousness into the inevitable presence of God. We'll carry it till the very end of the day. That's all we're responsible for, is this day, my dears. Krishna advises his disciple to practice pranayama. The first thing he advises us to do is the pranayama, awareness of breath. The life control technique of pranayama or Kriya Yoga, right? Starts with that inhale and exhale, complete devotion to awareness of the breath. And to learn to switch off the life current from the five senses in order. So here's where we got to get the advantage. We've got to start the separation. We switch off the life current from the five senses. So let's say you in the old days, you're running a switchboard at a company, and you're taking the incoming calls, and they're just coming one after another, and people call, they have complaints, they want to return things and this and that. And it's just like, so you just say, you know what? I'm so sleepy right now. I'm just going to take a little nap. And you just close your eyes and boom, you're out. Meanwhile, the calls keep coming in, but you're so relaxed, you're asleep, right? That you don't feel that, you don't hear that, you're not aware of it, you don't care about the bombardment of all that sensory noise, let's say. So you've just shut off the five senses from reaching you. In order to still the restless fluctuations of your mind, in order to still the restless fluctuations of the mind, how key is that? To still the restless fluctuations of the mind. We know that divine presence, though close to you, cannot be closer than, at a certain point, it just kind of stands back while you're restless. It can't come in when you are all filled with static, right? It goes back into its omnipresence, wishing that it could be closer to you, but only you, my dear, can invite it in through your still, calm, unceasing devotion. And then what happens when we still the restless fluctuations of the mind through awareness of breath, through the Kriya breath, like our God ecstasy breath? What happens? What do we do then? Let's say we can get a little reprieve from the usual restlessness, and then mind starts to cloister into your heart. It's getting drawn in, sucked in to this love affair. And your unbelievable steadiness, you're the great stabilizer now, stabilizing your mind in this heart center, right? In the heart love. So what do we do then? We unite that mind and life force with our soul, with our essence. So first, we have awareness of breath. Inhale, exhale. Then we have a sleep at the switchboard, shutting off all the noise coming into us. A nap's a great thing, but this you want to do consciously without having to have to go to take a nap. But if need be, take the nap rather than get overwhelmed, right? And then that mind that is not bothered anymore by the overwhelm of the incoming restless thoughts again and the worldly demands, whatever, we then unite it with our essence, with our soul, all that peace, all that freed up energy. We unite it with our soul, and then the soul with the shining light of spirit. Look at that. How many times have we heard this? How many times does it need to be repeated? Hey, I, for one, don't mind a repeat of truth anytime, anywhere, all the time. And I hope it's the same with you all. It is necessary for men and women to practice a scientific technique such as Kriya, or this withdrawal, or this gaining some separation from your physical bombardment of the mind stuff going off, the restlessness in the body, the desires and the emotions and all that. We really need a reprieve from all of that, or a scientific technique such as Kriya Yoga, to prevent our mind during meditation from wandering away. This is an interesting line too. In order to prevent our mind during meditation from wandering away from, what's it wandering away from? Divine ecstasy. Ecstasy. Divine ecstasy. So let's rewind just a little and just bring this back to, every moment, every meditation, the purpose of this day is to be in divine ecstasy. It's not you have to meditate, you have to somehow do something about this fear and worry and restlessness that you're feeling. No, let's just be real simple about this. Let's just know that the only reality is divine ecstasy, right? That we are in that now. We just need to improve our knowing a lot that we're in divine ecstasy. That's the motivating force behind all this, is this divine ecstasy of freeing ourselves from the fluctuations of the mind, putting that mind in our life force, in our soul nature, just letting it be. We are that light, and then surrendering and giving all of that to the shining light of spirit. It's necessary to practice scientific technique to accomplish all that and to prevent the mind from wandering during meditation from divine ecstasy into the domain of thoughts and material sensations. So you're talking, listen, we have the three bodies, right? We need the first degree of separation is to separate from the physical craziness that we're in. The scratches, the itches, the maintenance, the hunger, right? The things that can go wrong physically, and on, to gain some separation. That's our very first separation to go for. So we at least get some separation from the physical, right? Because we want to be more in our astral body now. Then we have another second degree from the astral body to the causal, and then the third degree of separation is the causal into the infinite spirit. No more bodies needed. They're laying dead over in the graveyards and the misery over lifetimes, right? The misery we've experienced over lifetimes. As a Kriya yogi and yogini relaxes her life force from the 5 sense telephones, she automatically finds that sensations and thoughts have vanished from her consciousness. So, man, you're almost, getting the third degree separation right there, because the third degree is you're just pure consciousness. You're not even light and energy. So that can all vanish as you disconnect from the sense telephone. Thus, freed, her and his mind become, here's a quote, maybe you can write it down or come back to this page 723. Thus freed, the mind becomes magnetized toward the blissful soul and its everlasting communion with spirit. So put in an affirmation: my mind is becoming magnetized. My mind is magnetized toward the blissful soul and its everlasting communion with spirit. One more, make one more little edit. My mind is magnetized toward my blissful soul in its everlasting communion with spirit. My mind is always magnetized toward my blissful soul, into my blissful soul, and its everlasting communion with spirit. Powerful affirmation. So we need to break free from our mind, break free for all time, break free. This life is not our dime. Break free and become one with the divine. Become one with the divine, right? And let's dance on the wild side. Dance, dancing, dancing in the sun. Let's dance on the wild side, the side that we don't ever experience, the side that we push aside, don't even think we have, not even aware of it. The light body, the energy, the cosmic energy. For starters, let's dance with that. Then let's dance with pure consciousness. And then off the grid in the bliss, oneness, ecstasy with spirit. All right. So that's verse 8. And this is where it gets pretty juicy. At the time of death, this is now verses 9 to 10. Chapter 8, page 723. At the time of death, a yogi reaches the supreme effulgent Lord. If, it's a pretty big if, with love, this is Krishna talking. With love and by the power of yoga, now we know, is that complete abandonment and one single-hearted, single-minded focus on divine ecstasy. So with love and this unquenchable, unrelenting focus on divine ecstasy or the power of yoga, we fully penetrate the life force between the eyebrows, the seat of the spiritual eye. And we fix our mind unwaveringly on the being beyond all delusions of darkness, shines like the sun. The one whose form is unimaginable, subtler than the finest atom, the supporter of all, the great ruler, eternal and omniscient. Three things: love, the power of the always remembering, always yearning for and devoted to the divine union, the divine ecstasy, or the oneness of soul and spirit, penetrating with all our whole being, all our life force into the spiritual eye, and then fixing unwaveringly on that being beyond all delusions of darkness, shines like the sun, the one whose form is unimaginable, subtler than the finest atom, the supporter of all, the great ruler, eternal and omniscient. So for me, if we were to analyze what is the very most important first basic foundational step, we know our steps, but the first of the first, our first, God first, our true love first, the very first thing is that to acknowledge, to have intuitive imagination for, have relentless enthusiasm for and devotion for this luminous divine light and presence of the loving presence. The unbelievable being, the most beautiful being of light, and this loving presence right with us always. You could say that it's your guardian angel. Doesn't matter. It's always with you, right? The light. And the light is such a beautiful thing. Here's another NDE quote. The light had a sweetly flowing voice. And you think, well, so what is light? Well, this might stimulate your intuitive imagination. The light had a sweetly flowing voice, unlike anything I'd ever heard while I was alive. The light also had a smile that is indescribably beautiful. It hits you and you are awestruck. Most surprisingly, the light had a sense of humor and a deep Santa Claus laugh. A deep Santa Claus-like laugh that was infectious. We conversed and laughed together for what felt like a lifetime. You know, it's kind of everything, right? It's kind of everything. That light is everything you can make it out to be. And then some. Oh, let me see if I can get something here. Oh boy. Let me give you another, just relax, feel, close your eyes, dream of divine ecstasy, my dears. And hear the truth through another person's, when they got separation from their physical body and their mind stuff and had a little break from being human. And they went into the light and they had an NDE experience and came back. Here's one more about the light. Oh, this is the one I just read you. Okay. This is the one I just read you. All right, I built that one up, didn't I? I don't have the best kind of way to mark this stuff, so it doesn't seem to. So I'll give you one. Let me give you one about. Love then, okay? This is the love light, right? Without a doubt, the most transformative part of my NDE was a pure feeling of the most intense love I can barely describe. So I'm saying that our very first step, we're gonna have steps that reiterate what the common 15 things are when people come back and talk about their NDE. We won't take all of them, but they don't happen to everyone, all 15, but there's 15 the experts, researchers have found out that are, threads that are most universal in people's experiences. And one of them is to be greeted by this magnificent being of light. So we're trying to paint a picture right now, because if you're not motivated, you can still have an intuitive imagination that bang, you just close your eyes and it's like, you had a little heart arrest, cardiac arrest, or whatever. And it just takes you right from being in control of your body and puts you into that next phase, a near-death experience, I'm just trying to paint the picture because this is the most important first thing we do, right? We've got to feel that we are part of this great presence, as we just kind of explained and talked about. Because that light is you and you are that light. And the most transformative part for this one person was a pure feeling of the most intense love. She says, I can barely describe it. It was just pulse after pulse of pure love. It was within me. It was around me. It was everything. It felt like heartbeats of love. One wave of love crashing after another. The most fascinating part of all to me was that there was love in the interim as well. Then the next, it's like if the waves are coming, there's an interval between if you're surfing, it's a set of waves, 5 or 6 or so, and then there's a lull. But she said even the interim, there was love Then the next shock wave would come with even more and more. It was endless, eternal, and complete. I had no fear whatsoever. I had no feeling other than love. I was completely focused on one thought, reaching the light. I tasted true bliss. Words do not even come close to doing that experience justice. You have carte blanche to go to YouTube and look up NDE experiences in the light. You have carte blanche to drum it up. But I'm talking about, this is your constant companion. This person who greets you when it's time to get separation. And we are all about getting separation, right? Yoga is about that complete severance from our material preoccupation and our habits and our addictions and whatever, fears, phobias. It's complete separation from that. Has nothing to do with the real deal. So Yogananda's commentary now about takes the love and it takes the power of yoga, penetrate through the spiritual eye, and then we keep our whole being just mesmerized by the beauty of that being that we're stabilized our consciousness in. Yogananda says, there are these verses 9 and 10 are the three qualifications by which a great yogi passes from his physical body into the divine essence. First, love of God. Second, mastery of that kingly science, Kriya Yoga, by which he and she can usher her consciousness into the infinite through the agency of the single eye in the forehead. Third, perfect control of the mind made possible through constancy in yoga that enables him to place his thought undeviatingly on the Lord at the time of death, at the end of this day and all throughout this day, because it won't be there, your consciousness of the Lord, if it ain't on it every minute and every breath of this day. And so end of day, we have perfect control of the mind made possible through the constancy of our burning heart's desire for yoga union throughout the day. That enables him and her to place her thought undeviatingly on the Lord at the time of death, at the end of the day, an hour whose finality is always known in advance by a true yogi. These stanzas making two references to God as light. The supreme effulgent Lord is one of them. And the being who shines like the sun also mention a specific yoga technique, the Kriya. The point Krishna wishes to make by such a juxtaposition is that a man and woman who devote herself and himself to yoga beholds the Lord as light. You'll hold whatever image, you cannot avoid the light. The light is all these things. In the light is all these things. In the light is the love, and in the love is the light. The love light is always on. In meditation, a great yogi takes her ego, life force, prana, and consciousness. This is the goal. Beyond the physical body to a vast realm ablaze with soothing light. So this is page 724. It's the second paragraph from the top. So if you need a little help, a little imagery, because listen, you are much more, you are light. In reality, you are not this thinking mind. That is completely a dream experience. So you don't have to get concerned about anything human of you. You can replace all that in an instant by just feeling that divine loving presence with you, the light of that presence, and through practice, it's fundamental every single day. If we want to bring, what is the first thing we're going to bring our mind back to? This unbelievably beautiful presence. This unbelievably beautiful presence. So we take our life force, prana, ego and consciousness beyond physical body to a vast realm ablaze. A vast realm ablaze with soothing light. So you could just read this and pass over it. Well, that might be the first kind of thing that stops you in your tracks when you start to have your own visual imagination of this light. This, this vast realm ablaze with soothing light, completely what it gobbling you up, completely owning you. This radiancy is from 1,000 suns, thousands of suns and moons from your body, oh mother, do shine. So if we're in her womb, we're in her body of thousands of suns and moons from her body do shine, because we are in her, right? This radiancy is from 1,000 suns dissolves into an ever new display of multicolored rays issuing from an endlessly enlarging spherical fountain. So part of this dynamic visualization that you can have every single day, in every way, when it's time to get separation. First degree separations from the body, from the restless fluctuations of your mind, from the material obsessions, and so on and so forth. This radiancy dissolves into an ever new display of multicolored rays issuing from an endlessly enlarging spherical fountain, multicolored rays. So talk about a light show. The single eye in the forehead of man and woman possesses spherical vision. In meditation, that vision gradually expands for the yogi into an ineffable sphere of constantly changing luminosity, blissful and omnipresent. Expands into an ineffable sphere of constantly changing luminosity, blissful and omnipresent. A luminosity that's blissful and omnipresent. So turn the light on, baby. Turn the light on. But it must be a steady practice. Even the fact that to remind yourself, turn the light on, visualize, that vast realm of that soothing light, and then that next level of multicolored lights, and then that ineffable sphere of constantly changing luminosity, which is blissful and omnipresent. So you have 3 things to start your visualization with right here on page 724. And after experiencing this vibratory vision of Om as the cosmic light, remember what that light is. It's the vibratory vision of Om. The emancipated yogi and yogini goes beyond all delusive relativities of vibrations. She and he then feel and realize the transcendental Lord. He who exists beyond the transitory dreams of cosmic matter and its myriad components of cells, molecules, atoms, electrons, and protons, lifetrons, and thoughttrons, the ultimate basis of matter. All right. So let's just look at our first practice and how it leads into the second chakra, Divine Mother. So you're just being filled up with the radiance. Just, God is light. God is light in a form, a being of light, the most beautiful you've ever seen. I have tons more quotes, but I just got all my notes kind of just made it more confusing. But so many quotes, gather those quotes. The more quotes you have, then you have your whole pile of these beautiful meditations of entering the light, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, Divine Mother, thousands of suns and moons from her body do shine. But most specifically, because we are so fear-ridden, we are so obsessed with worry and on, restlessness, that we have got to now feel that being of light. And she might be the Divine Mother the whole time. But in the second chakra, let it be Divine Mother. First of all, removing through her baby wipes all guilt, all shame, all blame, all worry, all fear. And that you can truly say to her, thank you, Mom, for taking care of every detail of my life. Because there's no ascension if you have any kind of fear or worry and all that stuff. There's none. So we're talking about complete takeover by the light now. We're talking about living in the light. We're talking about living in this massive love. We're talking about living in the peace now. We're talking about this is our total fixation. This is our total focus. And yes, when we slip back, we just return. We come back to that loving presence. And every time you do, it's stronger and it's more palpable and it's more real. But think of it as our second stop, our second practice in this, how we combine now the NDE 15 most common threads of people's experiences as they go across. Then we're going to get into that. We're going to have our little one, like I'm starting today. First thing is this beautiful luminous presence. Close your eyes, boom, no more darkness. There's just what? Your complete passion for this divine ecstasy and this beautiful light. As you heard me make a few quotes of that. And how everyone who's in that near-death experience, that's it. They go, this is me. That's who I am. I'm finally home. And it's going to help you get that first degree of separation from the physical world, which is the heart. The hardest part is this, because this root desire for physical sensations is the strongest desire in the universe, Yogananda said. So we have this first degree of separation is the hardest. It gets easier after that, okay? So this is why we have a lifetime where it seems like, well, we not getting anywhere in all this stuff. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you're already there. And the light is already here. And you are already it, and it is already you. Get it? You get it? It's just practice, my dears. So I'm thinking that when we get done with this final little, our steps that are conform now to the NDE experience, right? And some of those main threads, we're going to tap into those, and that luminous being that greets you there when you go across, that's in there, 15. All right. Is now the second one is Divine Mother and her baby wipes, wiping all that worry, all that fear, all that restlessness, just wiping your slate clean. She's the mother of love, the mother of forgiveness, the mother of sweet compassion. Every breath she fills me with her love. Every moment she fills me with her light, right? So that's it. There's no need to blame. We carry no shame. The mother always wipes our slate clean. So we're talking about a new dedicated practice right after just in being embraced by this beautiful being. You can imagine that being just totally, just don't get up from your meditation until that worry and fear is completely in her hands. Would you promise me? Don't get up now. It's too easy to get up. Well, the second practice is that thank you for taking care of this Divine Mother. I don't have a care. The Mother Bear and the angels are guiding me throughout this day. They're around me everywhere, this Divine Mother, or she's carrying me, or I'm in her womb. Thousands of suns and moons from her body do shine. All right. Really, really important, because we're going to see. We're going to go up. We're going to ascend. We're going to ascend this ladder. All right. And where is this one? Oh yeah, I'm sorry that I'm trying to dig them through these papers. Oh, this is my book. And I may give you that information about where you can get a copy, because there's just I did a whole book on what we're talking about right now. Me and this professor, religious studies, Darren is his name. Let me just see. not making any headway here. Okay. I just want to say, because there's a part in our book that is kind of interesting. What, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna get it here. All right. But we talk about this part of having a divine goddess ascend from the divine light, and she's the one that is blessing you at the beginning of your ascension. That would be our first step. I'll get it more and more organized next time to have it available for you. But we talk about her, and she comes in and she dismantles you, and so she gives you a little totem, a little something that is sacred, that every time you start your meditation, boom, she's right there. Just as a reminder, something tactual, right? And that's what we talked about in the book. So important. And then we get the baby wipes. So we're just ready to go, and knowing that the day is completely safe in her grace, in her womb. She's taking care of every single detail. So no worry, por favor. No fear, por favor. No restlessness, por favor. Okay? Because we have a ways to go. In the book that I wrote, we did The Ladder of Love by Plato. You know, we kind of use that, but it's the same idea. It's still an ascension. We're using, of course, the Patanjali's 8 steps of yoga. So Yogananda goes on just to talk about these degrees of separation. He doesn't say the degrees of separation, but the experience that we have once we begin to ascend. So in the transcendental state of God, that is beyond all of this, beyond all creation, beyond all 3 bodies and 3 universes, right? Completely transcendental. In the transcendental state, God spins out his dreams of ideational, the causal universe of consciousness, astral, energy and light, dreams, and physical universes. Okay, so those are the 3 universes: causal, astral, and physical. And there's a causal body we have, there is an astral body we have, and of course we have the physical body. The physical cosmos, with its many island universes floating in the eternal void, is encircled. The astral universe is huge, but it's encircled by a nimbus of radiant energy that melts away into a larger astral world. So this physical universe is surrounded by a nimbus of radiant energy that melts away into a larger astral world. The astral cosmos is a grander manifestation of creation than the physical. It's a grander manifestation. Still a dream, still being held in the consciousness of God. Still not the goal, right? It's just a grander manifestation than the physical, and runs through and beyond the latter. In the astral cosmos, many luminous galaxies of various densities, with their astral, solar, and stellar systems, are roving in the vaster sphere of eternity. Light, the light universe, right? The light astral world and the cosmic energy, the Om vibration, and the light. The largest, though, or causal cosmos, contains countless causal galactic systems with their sun. Give it your best to stretch your imagination as you listen to this, rather than get distracted and tune it off. I know how easy it is to tune this stuff out, because we're just trying to survive today, right? We might not have enough money to pay a bill today. Get it, right? Might be diagnosed with something that just has paralyzed you with fear, right? So I get that. But still, the truth remains for you to completely hold on to everything you have, surrender to everything you have, to let yourself just relax and let go, give it back to the source of you, right? The largest, or causal cosmos, contains countless causal galactic systems with their suns and planets roaming all through the physical and astral cosmoses, and far beyond their boundaries through the outermost sphere of vibratory space, or of this dream delusion creation or manifestation of God's dreams, God's consciousness, to the outermost sphere of this dream creation. The causal universe is the womb of creation. The causal universe is the consciousness, or we could say consciousness. Divine consciousness is the womb of creation. In the causal universe, God's finest creative forces of consciousness and highly evolved beings, they're highly evolved beings there. And his creative forces of consciousness, with their intuitive processes, objectify universes from subtle divine thought forces. So they're almost like creator. And this is like the seventh chakra. So we're talking the causal chakra is the seventh one. That's where we have, our Father and us are one, creator and us are one. We have the same consciousness as the creator. This is where we, from here, we detach. The third degree of separation, and the final one, is from the causal consciousness, the awakened soul, right? Cosmic consciousness, into the unlimitlessness. No words to describe it. Oneness, ecstasy, everlasting with spirit, ongoing. You don't even ever have a thought of any of the physical, astral, causal. You don't even. You're in bliss, ongoing oneness. Just to kind of warm you guys up. Through pure soul intuition, an accomplished yogi can behold the physical cosmos and its beings as the cosmic dream of God. Remember, God is you. You are him. Relax, melt in that consciousness. Really enjoy a break at each one of your steps. And I might leave you with the third practice. So you have 3 under your belt for today's stream. But just let me finish this paragraph. Through pure soul intuition, accomplished yogi can behold the physical cosmos and its beings as the cosmic dream of God. Or she can project her consciousness into the astral world and perceive its panorama of indescribably beautiful island universes and beings made of ethereal blendings of various colored lights. Page 725. Or you can lift, or she or he can lift his consciousness into the sublime causal sphere with its galaxies upon galaxies of dazzling wisdom objects, because it's all consciousness there. So they're not even a physical object. They're no light objects. It's consciousness objects or wisdom objects and beings and their interactions, a glorious diadem in the eternally still, endless skies of spirit. Wow. The yogi who has attained complete control over her consciousness can behold the physical, astral, causal world, or go beyond to the transcendental vibrationless regions of God. Bingo. Surprise. She and he is able to perceive one portion of the Lord's consciousness as the transcendental eternal peace, and another portion as the ripple of cosmic dreams. Transcendental, beyond the dreams, wide awake city, right? And all the ripples of the 3 universes and the 3 bodies, the astral, the physical, and the causal. It is the vibrationless blessed consciousness of God that in the last analysis is the causative and omniscient supporter of the dream cosmos and all its forces, subtle and gross. The manifestations of the divine are in evidence in the cosmic dream, but he, the ruler, remains hidden. Okay, quite a journey. I told you you are fearless adventurers today. Fearless faith and total trust. I told you so. I told you so. Okay, now let's see. I want to get to this thing here where we can now look at what it is like in this third chakra, our new revised NDE, New Dimensions Explore, you know, a little deeper dive into this love force at our third chakra. All right. Here's the NVE. Here's the practice. There are no words in English or in any language to describe the kind of love God emanates. God was completely without judgment when we reviewed my life. So this is like the little third chakra is like this love review. As it happened to this woman, a love review, meaning this unceasing Krishna love blast, this radiation of the third sun center of the sun love, cosmic love, is how we just completely surrender to in this third chakra now and review the situation as she had it reviewed. Coming up. God was completely without judgment when we reviewed my life. Can you be without judgment when you review how you're doing or anyone else is doing? In every scene of my life review, I could feel again what I had felt at various times in my life. Far more important, though, I could feel everything everyone else felt as a consequence of my actions. Some of those feelings were amazing, but some of them were truly painful. All of this translated into wisdom, and I learned. Oh, how I learned. The information was just flowing at an incredible breakneck speed that would have destroyed me if it weren't for all of this that we're talking about, this whole journey, everything that a human can even talk about, even the smartest, whatever, human. Is overwhelming. It's impossible to pull off anything if you're in a human consciousness, okay? Anything worthwhile. You're caught in the dream. So now she's getting all her whole review at a breakneck speed that would have destroyed her if it weren't for the extraordinary energy holding you. First thing at this third chakra, you're being held by this extraordinary energy of God's love, my dear. It's not you to figure out anything, not you to say, I'm going to radiate love, I'm going to love blast this and that today. You're being held by a cosmic energy, extraordinary energy. The information came in, and then love neutralized my judgments. So today, anytime, tonight, another review, you look at your day and where you started to judge it, make it wrong, or not even wanting to go there because it just, you felt, you know, Divine Mother didn't, she wiped your blame and shame clean, but maybe you still think that it wasn't a good day for you. You're still in judgment or something, right? So just make sure that you acknowledge that love is going to neutralize your judgments against yourself. The information came in, and then love neutralized my judgments against myself. This extraordinary love energy. The love force, that's our love force, third chakra. It's going to neutralize your own judgments, my dears, if you let it in, if you practice this. God held me and kept me together. Remember, you're not here to do anything. Don't just do something, sit here. Meditate. Internalize the truth. Practice the truth. God is holding you and keeping you together. Period. I received absolutely all of the information about every scene, my perceptions and feelings, every scene of today, every scene since we hang up or we get off this line and then an hour, for that whole hour, every scene, for the whole day, for the whole lifetime, for the whole lifetimes, about every scene, everything, absolutely all the information about that. My perceptions and feelings, and anyone else's perceptions and feelings who shared that moment with me. No matter how I judged myself in each interaction. Now remember, he's holding her together as she received all this information, all her scenes in a lifetime. No matter how I judge myself in each interaction. So here's what happens. Not only are you going, your judgment is going to get neutralized about how you think and how you see things, but there's going to be, no matter how I judge myself in each interaction, being loved by God, being loved by God completely overshadowed it. So you're judging, God's love is going to intercede, completely overshadow that judgment you have. He neutralizes it first, she said earlier, then God's love overshadows it. God interjected. I can't get that word out of my head because third step, God's love interjects love, his love into everything, every feeling, every bit of information about absolutely everything that went on, so that everything was divinely perfect. The luminous being, where you just are a perfect reflection of that. Your life, as you know it, is over as you gain that degree of separation in that very first practice. I am that. I am you. We are one. You are me. I am you. We are one. And then the Divine Mother just wiping it all clean, and you feel as fresh as a divine being can feel. Everything is perfect. You don't worry. You have no fear. She wipes it clean, and she's right here and now, ever guarding you, ever loving you. Divine Mother at your second, and at your third, the love force just comes in and wipes you out, man. Your judgments about things, and then interjects love into every detail of this day. Every detail, if you put your mind on anything, that love comes in and interjects and puts love there. So right here, right now, it's loving me. It's loving this. Right here, right now, I'm one with it. I'm loving this. We are loving. This is the we are loving at your third chakra. All right. See, we're getting ready with, how we're going to relate this to our steps. And then when we get to the old, that's when we start to blast off. All right. That's where we start to really get this degree of separation going, because that's when the soul leaves the body in the own vibration, right? And we're just going to sort of there. But we have other steps that we can just totally match up in NDE experience. That's universal, goes across the board. And these are going to be our new get ready plan. Get ready. How did we start today? That in that first verse, the verse 8, I believe, that Krishna tells Arjuna to prepare himself spiritually throughout life, that at death, in the manner of a great yogi, he may carry his divine consciousness into the ineffable presence of God. Bang. So we're just going to, prepare ourselves spiritually throughout this day, one day at a time. And at the end of the day, we're going to carry our divine consciousness into the ineffable presence of that great light again. And we stay there. God interjects all this love into the third chakra. And then from there on out, you see that the masters just give you this unbelievable It's a honeymoon at your fifth chakra, my dears. I know I'm going over. It's a honeymoon, eternal peace, the peace, because that's one of the things that is common of the 15. I'll read those to you next week. Those 15 elements is this unmatched peace because you have it all going. Oh, we're going to go to the heart. We're going to the heart center next. Yeah, because you're going to be in unbroken love. And then the honeymoon of peace before we start to launch and ascend deeper into the new dimensions explored. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know Narayan's here. I know the Clarks are here. And others, I hope may take a little peek, but I hope this is helpful. Write down your thoughts. If you have any questions, I want to let's get them cleared up right away. But I hope that they got some understanding from this. I hope there was a fresh breeze, that just the breeze of the all-pervading presence. Oh, all-pervading presence, the breeze of thine inspiration has banished all clouds. The firmament of my mind is clear. With purified eyes, I behold everywhere, everywhere only thee. I behold everywhere only thee. It's one of Master's poems made into a little ditty. Breathing in the love, even with my stuffed up nose. Bobby, get better, my friend. Let's all feel that Shakti cosmic energy coming in. Whoo! All these steps now are going to have a new vibrancy. All of them are going to have a new understanding. All of them are going to have a new effect on all of us, right? Just deeper, purer, more soul satisfying, more intoxicating. Oh, I just can't wait. I just can't wait for all of us to be blissed out completely. Love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Happy New Year, my dears. And let us pray. Oh, beloved of our hearts, beloved of our souls, let every breath we breathe, every footstep we take, every moment that we are in these physical bodies and on this stage, may we realize it's not me. It's never been me. It's been thee and only thee. Always will be thee. Only you, my love, only you. And so it is. Namaste. God bless y'all.